This video here is going to show. So as you can see, what I have done is I have last name, first name, and barcode. And I just want to show you that the way the barcode has to be set up. So if we zoom in, let me go ahead and click on view, and let me zoom in to about 125. So you will see that each of the barcodes, it has to be surrounded by asterisks, which is why we have an asterisk to the left and an asterisk to the right. Then we have the last name up here, and then we have a period, and then first name, and then we have period, and then the ethnic code. So we separate last name, first name, ethnic code with a period. Some of the students have a hyphenated last name, and a barcode system, as we can tell right here, it will recognize a hyphen, but it will not recognize a space. So I deleted the hyphen off to the left, and you'll see that it will reflect here. This will not scan, so I do have to go in and replace it with a hyphen. Now Aguilar Flores, that he might not actually have a hyphen in on his last name, but we have to do it like that anyways. So when you get the barcode, or when you get the information from Vicky, this is actually what the list is going to look like. So it's not really going to be in a format that you can really work with. You really have to manipulate it. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of some of the information that we don't need. So we don't need student ID. We don't need grade information. So again, we can go ahead and get rid of that information. But as you can tell, back in the first one, we do need to have an asterisk. And I just kind of want to show you what all of the fields are going to be. So we need to have an asterisk field, last name, and then period, first name, period, ethnic code, which you will see in the one that Vicky sent me. This is actually kind of a mistake. I'm going to leave period number as though it was an ethnic code. This was the one that she sent me before she sent me the ethnic code. So we'll just pretend that period is the ethnic code. We're going to keep teacher here also. If we look back in the master sheet, I believe teacher is right here, but we hid it so this way it wasn't appearing when we printed this. So going back to the original, okay, so to the left of A, we want to insert a column, and that's going to be where the asterisk is going to go. And then we want to create a space to the left here. Now you will realize that that first name comes first and last name comes last. So what we can do is we can cut this information and we can paste it right here and then create more gaps in between. Okay, so this one here is going to be again the asterisk field. This one here is going to be a period. This one here is going to be a period. And then, like I said, pretend that this is ethnic code. Okay, so again, if we're looking over here, so we got asterisk, last name, period, first name, period, ethnic code, and then asterisk. So if we come back over here, then this one here will be an asterisk, and then I'm going to make a field over here, and I'm going to call this one barcode, and we can get rid of room. Okay, so what I can do here is I can actually copy and then go all the way down to the bottom here, and I can paste, and you'll see that I have asterisks on this field. Now, the last field also has asterisks, so this is over G. So what I can do is I can click on A, and I'm going to do Control C for copy, come over to G, Control V for paste. Same thing over here, you see that we have the period, so we can go ahead and paste the period all the way down to here. And we also know that we have the period in between the ethnic code. All right, so we've got all of that situated. So now to actually create a barcode, to create the barcode, what we want to do is we actually want to combine all of this information into a single field. So what you're going to do is go ahead and click on the first field and then come up here where you see the FX, and this is where you can insert a function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and type in the equal sign, which means that I'm going to start a formula. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and type in A2, and this is for field A2. And if you look to the left, you'll see that it has a blue box around it. Then I'm going to type in the AND symbol, and then I'm going to type in B2, and you'll see that B2 is now highlighted, and C2, and D2, and E2, and F2, and G2, and I can see that that's the last one that I have to add. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and click Enter on the keyboard, and you will see that the everything has been added into a single field. Now, keep in mind that if I change something on the last name field, it will reflect into the barcode field. Now, it's going to be really hard to type that formula in every single time. So what I'm going to do is click on the field that I typed the formula into. And then the bottom right-hand corner of that field, you're going to see that box. When your cursor looks like this, it has a plus symbol, you're going to go ahead and click and drag all the way down to the bottom. And then once you have released your mouse, what it does is it applies that formula to each of the fields. So if I click in here, you'll see up at the formula that it does replace it with the A and B number field. So the last thing that we would have to do here is change the font to the barcode font, which is listed under I for ID automation. Okay, so that is this one right here. And double click to expand the barcode. Now we really don't want your barcode label up at the top to really be barcode. The other thing that I do is I highlight the field and I change the font size to the smallest, which is 8. And to make sure that we have enough room to print this, you'll see on here that I've actually made the barcodes a little bit shorter. And I think I have this to 34.5. So what I can do over here, if I click on 2 and drag all the way down to the bottom, and this one is going to take a little bit longer. So what I'm doing is I'm highlighting all of the rows. So I highlighted all the rows. Now I'm going to scroll up to the top. And if I change this first one here to 34.5 and then release, you're going to see that it applies to all of them. And this just saves a little bit of paper when you're printing the master barcode. The last thing that you're going to have to do, I'm going to center this, is, and this is the pain part, is you're going to have to go through each and every single barcode and look for spaces. So the first one I see is Agulon Manaphy. So I'm going to come over here to the field, double click, and I need to get rid of that space because the barcode reader won't recognize the space. So as I said before, you're going to have to add a hyphen. And I know that's legally not his name, but that's the only way that the barcode font will read it. So we can see Al-Jadri. We have to come in here, double click, and add a hyphen. So this part here is kind of the tedious part, but it is a lot easier than the method that we used to do back in the day. So from here, you would go ahead and click on your file, and I will make another video on how to take this information and put it on labels.